Head to Knoxville, don't be late. Baker's Live, it's gonna be great. June 5th and 6th, mark your date at Dollywood, we'll celebrate. Meet Baker and more cool friends. Live show magic that never ends. Come to Dollywood, feel the vibe. With great people there, it's gonna be a ride. Rides, fun, and meet and greet. Baker and pals, the crew's so sweet. Get ready for laughs, cheers, and thrills. Knoxville's the place, it's giving chills. Meet Baker and more cool friends. Live show magic that never ends. Come to Dollywood, feel the vibe. With great people there, it's gonna be a ride. June 5th and 6th, don't miss the fun. Meet Baker and friends, it's second to none. Baker and friends, it's second to
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, what if any you might be. And to the surprise of no one, court was supposed to have started 30 minutes ago, roughly, so we could start now with the 30 minutes delay. They haven't gotten the jury in the room yet. So I will be riding my bike backwards, doing a juggling number while at the same time doing an interpretive dance of the Battle of Wamapoke. All in my mind, and I will make sure not to distress anyone by just keeping a stone face, but you can follow along at home. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I hate this trial. They're always late. But for once in my life, I got someone to say hello to. Hey, Rose Crochet and Winus Saw. Well, you better get patient because it's always delayed. Might rage net a little before stream. Yeah, you probably need that. But you were up early and here early. See you later, Spree Flag. Danny T, good morning. Big Og, hello. Paula B, and Celestial Force. How is this child doing now? I have been replaying previous streams. We don't know. Apparently, she was willing to testify in this case, but they weren't allowed to use the defense of others' testimony. So she will not be brought, I think. It's still the defense case. They didn't rest yesterday. They could potentially do cross-examination, but they have been working on jury instructions all morning. And I don't know. Money G and Holly Mac. I don't know. Yeah, we need to. Yeah, it's. I don't know what's happening. Haha, I came back early. 80s and crispy bacon. Reminded me of Hannibal, the character, and what he experienced. But yeah, after he said Mello wanted me to do this, made me think he was the man behind the puppet string. Yeah, I'm gonna play something that I believe is Kathy Rutho shared on Twitter from the motion hearing yesterday. Audio will be crap. I'll keep silent. You can crank up the volume. It's very low, but I'll play it later and I will make sure that I'll do all the so you can crank up the volume. You might need to get your local stress ball when you hear it. Blushy Mom and Helen from Holland. And Miss Jaime, brokenhearted. I'm thinking we're just gonna get closing arguments. I see others picking up the live stream on this, but it's best with Baker. Thank you, Lilulu. Yeah, it's always funny when you start a trial and no one else is covering it, and then other cases end and they jump on this one. It's an interesting case. It's one of those weird cases where you don't feel sorry for the victim because you know something the jury doesn't know, and you really want the jury to know it, but still you're not allowed to be a vigilante. But the system did fail that little girl, and it's a hard case. Got a rude awakening at 5 a.m. Loudest bang of thunder I ever heard. Oh, maybe it's the rush geese. Weather has been decent here today. Well, it's turned kind of. It could look like potential snow now, but it was beautiful earlier. Cold as heck, but beautiful. Probably plea deal in the works. Nope, they are working on jury instructions. Hello. Kiki. Hey, Amy. Hello again, loser. Yeah, but of course on this channel we do not condone vigilante justice because it's not allowed on YouTube to promote violence. I've seen you. Cindy Lou, woohoo. I don't see any update from Pretty Lies and Alibis that the jury have been brought in. No, the last thing I saw from Katie Russo is the jury is still not in. And that's just when I hit start. It bothers me when court try to keep the truth from jerks. Don't call the jury jerks, Amy. Be nice to them. I know what you mean. If they can't convict without knowing the truth, then the case shouldn't even go to trial. It's this. Is it probative? Is it? I think in this case, because it's such a big reason for it, you should know it. But on the other hand, I didn't think that the Commonwealth should be allowed to talk about the Aruba trip and the Karen Reed case, because that had nothing to do with that night. But in this case, I believe this has something to do with his decision to do it. I really, I trained traps today. Oh, I like my traps. I like getting back in the gym and lifting heavy so you get some muscle under all your fat. Hey, Jinxie, how are you doing? Been a hot minute. An angel mama. That's the worst thing. I have an espresso machine because I kind of look like George Clooney. And I bought it last year. Well, I bought a used one, but had the same one before, and it just died. It has a milk foamer that was just crap. This one isn't the best either, but you need your cuff. Hey, Ferodowski, thank you for all the pictures so I can sit here in the cold weather north and think, oh, I wish I was somewhere hot and warm. Glorlin McLennan, hello. And Carly Kramer, hello to you. Kate Sharp. You filmed some cute squirrels today. Send them to the expert so he finally will have some squirrels outside of his head. Have you heard the newest airplane story? Such a tragedy. Nickelback was in the private jet flying into. Is this going to be a stupid joke? Yes, it is. It's Zach. It's going to be a stupid joke. The plane landed safely with no incident. Such a tragedy. Nickelback isn't that bad. It's just crappy music, but it isn't that bad. Hey, anime. They told him to tell the truth, and the truth involved a child. Yeah. But still, it's... The rules are rules, and he said, F the rules. And I am kind of glad he did it. And again, if he's going to get 30 years to life, what's 6 months? Hell Racing. Monsieur Harry. Wie geht's dir heute? I hope you are just as baffled like I am after yesterday. That was a wild ride. I think it's a good thing that we do it in we can do stuff in a different language because we can kind of get around those YouTube things we can't say. You didn't miss anything because nothing happens. It's always late. I'm great today. Hey, Kelly. Teresa Dixmeyer and Jane Doe. Yeah, remember to always descale. Put some descaling solution in it and get it a good clean. Always do that like every 3 months. Yeah, I think it's detrimental to the case, but he's not allowed to talk about it, which I think is BS. I'm not disagreeing with anyone who believes it should have been let in, but the judge ruled on it. I don't know if it's a theme for appeal, but I think it should have been allowed in. Hey, Tish. Buenos dias, señorita. Hey, Betsy. Thank you, Big Dog. The chat may not be about islands, but now to our sponsor, Lord Chippy and Friends. Well, that's not. That's just giving you a hug slowly with a spinning blade. That's why we promote Lord Chippy. Because when you find some old maps and you need those maps taken care of, no better place to do it than in Lord Chippy. Thank you, Bad Dog. Hey, Lindsay Baker, no relation. Dostoevsky, great testimony yesterday. Yeah, I actually also mentioned Dostoevsky, but that was because I felt it went so slow in the beginning. Missed the part of him being in the military, but I think that helped him justify what he did. People in the military, unalive, innocent civilian, and treated with valor. He was unaliving to protect. Well, he didn't really serve in the military. He wanted to join, and then after, was it 3 weeks, he had stress fractures in both his legs. So someone should have done his squats. I spent a significant amount of time wearing in my case, it was the Queen's uniform. Today it would have been the King's. I don't think we have a cavalier approach to unaliving. And I don't think it gets easier. Of course, they'll teach you so it kind of becomes a reaction instead of an action. But when you get in those situations, you will later you feel this is weird. I never had to pew pew anyone, but I have used freedom spreaders to to maybe tell someone to go another place than where they were. And I've been in in the middle of where other people have pew pewed and people have pew pew at me, and I don't think we. It's not the same to do it there as it is to do it if you're on deployment and someone is coming your way. Um, I probably not probably not suitable for a YouTube video, but uh, it's I don't think it ever gets easy, and I don't think that just because you used to be 3 weeks in the military, the OTC school, that you are that cold hearted. If he had a couple of deployments, seen some things, yes, I could believe it. But he didn't finish OTC school because he had stress fractures in his legs. So he was never even at that level where they were doing all the put it into your mind that it's not really people you're pew pewing at. It's more like silhouettes and targets and stuff like that. That's why you train with stuff like that too, so you can do the mental blocking and say, well, it's not really a life I'm taking. So I don't think he was that far into his training that you could say that, well, he must have some sense of protection. I don't think as again I spent around 10 years in the military. I don't think that's a thing. I'm sorry to say that's because as you also said, he had very big problems mentally just doing it. He seemed fine after, but before you have a lot of thoughts and discussions with yourself mentally when you have to do stuff like this. Then I lost everything. Well, he did get in and was there for 3 weeks, and then he had stress fractures. Okay, they apparently have Zach on cross exam now, so that should come up in 30 minutes. He didn't sound too fond of John anymore. He never. That's why I was hitting back on that. Well, they had a gay relationship because it didn't seem like they had much of a relationship for a long time. Because he found John to be too intense. It could be they had a relationship and like every one of my relationships, they end very fast because they find out, yes, I am an idiot. It could have been that, but it seemed like they didn't really talk till John moved to Italy, and now I think he might have. I don't want to. Is it grooming? But I'm thinking John set him up to do it in some way. Yeah, but I don't know if it's the law in South Carolina because that's what the judge claimed. It's not the law in South Carolina that you can be in defense of others, but I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. Yeah, where's Steve and Wallstrom? Oh, defense have rested, so it's going to be very close. Hopefully, It's gonna be close. He made a conscious choice out of anger. Not that I blame him, but there were other avenues. Yes, but I also think, not to defend him, but I also think, and I say this because we see it so much. The state failed Ada. And because the state failed Ada, he felt compelled to act. Is it correct? No. Is it a thing that happens? Yes. Do I understand why, if you have tried for 6 months to get someone to look at it, and you know that little girl is being abused? This is why this is a hard moral case. It's not it's an easy case based on the facts, but on the moral level, that's a different thing. Because Gary Plowski, no one had any problems with him not doing hard time. Again, maps belong on a wall. PDF files must always be shredded. We all say it, and we should believe when we have credible information we give to the state, they should act upon it, especially with this. In Denmark, we have had some very, very big scandals about this, because even though we are a very small country, we have different regions. And if you just swap between, if you moved out of your county into another county, it could be the next one over. Your case stays in the old county, and you can start over here. And then when social workers start looking at you, you just move, and you just move. And we had 2 daughters who were abused for years in the most horrific ways. And since then, we have had a very, very high focus on it. And we're kind of like the shoot first, ask questions later. So it's better to go in, be wrong, and then the kids can come home, instead of going in and say, well, let's wait. So we might take a kid too many away from their home. But I think a lot of social workers will close their eyes if, and I am not being sexist or misogynist or anything, but if it's a mom who facilitates it or even participates in it, and will just say, well, it's the ex-husband, he's just jealous. I think that's a big problem. Yeah, Miss Button, if that's the guardian ad litem, she closed her eyes, she put her blinders on. Moms are always right. Yeah, but they had contacted them before that. So that's, yeah, and you can't sue them. They're actually trying, in the Harmony Montgomery trial, they are trying to sue the CPS right now because they believe they made, I believe it's 17 wrong decisions in that case. And that mom was no saint either, because there was a reason why Harmony went to Adam Montgomery. That's because the mom was also a massive crackhead. But the CPS workers put Harmony in that backseat that became the last place she ever lived. Even if there was concerns about it, a guy said, well, I just waved to her from my car and that was okay. If you're that bad at your job, you should never be able to hold a position with anything for the government again. If he had kidnapped her, those charges are quite severe as well. He didn't. Yeah, but he could have. They may have continued to protect this man, and he would have been in prison anyway. Yes, because all of it would have been illegal because the Hague, the court in Hague had given custody to the mom, which they later overturned. But how would you feel if, oh, by the way, we gave your daughter to this monster, but we changed it a year later? So yeah, she lived in the house with a monster for a year and will forever have scars on her soul. But we admit we made a mistake. Come on now, you can't be that angry. Wouldn't you get a little? I don't know. Hey, Anya and Harmony. Do. That's why I love the subject of philosophy in college. There are morals and dilemmas that would have been dealt with differently in cases like this back centuries ago. Yeah, but again, back then you had vigilante justice, and but you also had different rules for what you could do to kids and stuff like that. So there's good things and bad things, but I think one of the big problems we have is this: we want to believe that if we're just good enough to some people, we can fix them. And I'm not sure I buy that theory. I believe that some eggs are broken. And if you have this tendency, this urge, this desire, you can't fix it. Something drastic should be done to people who participate in stuff like this. That's just my opinion. And again, we don't have to agree on this channel, but I believe it's not enough to sing Kumbaya and tell them, come on now. We actually had, on a different part of the island I live on, we had kind of an institution for mentally troubled kids, men, people. And one of them had, I can't remember how many convictions of CP. And to keep him calm, they gave him like toy magazines, because who is the model in a toy magazine? Not that they are undressed or anything, but still. And they gave him commercial promotion for kids' clothes brochures and stuff like that. And they said, what the hell? You're just keeping him in this depraved mindset. Yeah, well, he's this is just his urges. So we have to, because who are we to tell what's wrong? You're the effing people I pay my tax money to make sure this doesn't happen. I hate that. I hate that. They would have continued to protect this mom. Yes, man. Yeah, I was all, man? But I didn't. Yes, it's gross. It's very, very gross. Of course, had they just said, we shall overcome, everything would have been better. But I'm thinking I'm going to play something from Mello's hearing last night. Audio is very bad. I'm going to mute myself, go off screen, so you can crank up the volume. When I get back on screen, I'm going to do something so you know, take the volume down so I don't blow you. Blow your little ear holes.
$2,224 days for this. And I wish you could tell you it felt really good, John, but it's not going to feel good yet. I've been every day of this power. One witness to what you all have done. You did this to your family. Your child has to know that you did this to her family. I don't know where I need to be really hard, but I assure you, if I had all paperwork, I would be there every day. When you were convicted, I would be there at every parole hearing. Everyone. You will never get rid of me. And that is your own fault. You did this to yourself. So I have your honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Parcell. I appreciate you coming. Mr. Miller, do you have any questions before we end this?
Nothing.
All right, sir, you're free to go with the officer.
I hope you all have turned down your instrument of sound movement. So you can listen to this. This was the sister who talked at the arraignment yesterday of the young girl's father because he was picked on conspiracy charges to commit a felony. And she was standing there yelling at him, "I'll be there for the rest of your life." Well, you weren't there for your niece. You, sir, miss, should every single day be treated like... No, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. But I hope you every morning when you wake up and look at your angry bee face in the mirror remembers it happened under your roof. You knew. I am absolutely certain you knew, because you were very adamant that you didn't want to talk about sleeping arrangements in that house. And even if you didn't know at the time, you know now. And you'll still fight for your sister and her legacy. I know she hasn't been charged, but there's a civil suit out there. I read it. Well, I read the parts of it I could stomach. You should sit down, shut up, and you should retract every single lawsuit you have tried to file to get access to that girl. That girl should never be reminded of her mom. Never. You are an enabler. You helped this happen. The kid is with the dad. Well, now she's not with the dad anymore because he has been arraigned. There was no bond set yesterday. So I hope she's with her older sister where she has been before she moved to her dad's house. Got a link. Yeah, I was actually thinking about it. Are they in the same jail? I don't know. They don't have access to each other because this guy was just picked up yesterday. I don't know. I don't know if she had Christina's. I just saw the video. Why did the judge give her the opportunity to talk? Can anyone go talk at arraignments? I have this video. That's what I have. Oh, you got it? Good. Yeah, show that to your crowd tonight because that really hurt my lady bits to see that lady yelling at someone after we saw how she acted on the stand. Gigi said she was holding the mom's ashes there. This woman scares me even more than she annoys me. I saw she was drinking Dr. Pepper Light, so maybe another Sarah Boone. I'll try later. Yeah, I don't know why you have victim impact statements at an arraignment, but it seems like the state are very interested in getting some conviction so they can sweep it all under the rug. Isn't it funny how every time the state puts kids in homes like that, it's just a mistake. It's just an accident. Stop talking about it. Yeah, she came off very, very odd from the stand. Yes, she believes she's no different than Zach. She believes she's in the right and she can do whatever because she is correct in what she's doing. It was a bond hearing. They usually allow some family of victims to make a statement. Thank you. I thought it was just an arraignment. No, because there was no charges brought against him. He was picked up yesterday. We shared that when it happened right after the testimony that he offered him money. How court is supposed to start at in maybe I can find it and at least play parts of it. Because she comes off really weird. Can I find that was that day 2? I don't want to see Vinnie Politan investigates. I want to see the sisters' arguments, and I absolutely don't want to see Julie from Trial TV. She is impossible to watch. Yeah, this is it. I'm gonna go to just gonna play some of it for you. Move up there, boost the audio. Just see if I can catch her on the cross-examination because that's where she really shows her B-side.
We had keys for the front door only. We didn't have a key for the back door, and since I didn't own the home, I couldn't change the locks. It was a rental. So when we came and went day in, day out, we would go through that front door. That first month, more than one occasion, we would go out the back door, go play in the yard, try and come back in the back door and get locked out.
Have you ever seen Christina Parcell talk to him?
No.
He's never been to the house.
Mr. Mello had a quote-unquote gentleman's agreement, and then when my sister was not receiving the visitation she thought she was due, that's when the actual court actions began, which is not in any way, shape, or form the same as giving up custody, I believe.
Okay, but John Mello had primary custody.
I believe that the agreement was written that he had custody and she had visitation, correct?
Okay, so that was in the court documents, that he had custody, and she didn't dispute that. She didn't fight that, did she?
She had fought that repeatedly, trying to get custody, and then would reach an agreement with him.
But not initially. When that first document came out for where John got custody, when John Mello got custody, she did not
Mr. Mello had physical custody before there was a document in that original Pickens County family court action. Mr. Mello had physical custody and was not allowing my sister to have visitation, so she took him to court and then reached an agreement where he retained custody.
Her timbre of voice when she is talking like he is a person with very low IQ, so she has to talk like this so this stupid man can understand what she says, is really hitting my brainiacs in a way that makes me feel like I think this lady is the most annoying person on the planet.
Custody, but he was not granted custody by the court.
Okay, but she reached an agreement, so they didn't
just,
have to
played
find out
it.
in the courts because she allowed him to have custody, correct?
That is the agreement which she reached. That's not the same as allowing, but
So she agreed to it. That's what an agreement is, right? Correct?
she entered that agreement, yes.
Okay, thank you. And it was not until Ida was taken to Italy by John that she began trying to get full custody. Is that true?
No, they had multiple family court cases. Sometimes she initiated, sometimes he initiated, trying to modify the agreement that they had.
And it wasn't modified until after she came back, Ida came back from Italy, right?
Honestly, I would have to check the paperwork.
Okay. Now, you had met Brad Post before he started dating Christina in 2015 or 2016, correct?
He was a customer at my father's cigar store.
Right. And that was somewhere around 2000 or 2001 when you met him?
I couldn't tell you. He was a person that sat in my father's cigar store, so I couldn't tell you the first time I noticed him as a human being, no.
Okay, you worked for
First time I noticed him as a human being. More people was kind of flummoxed about that description. The first time I noticed him as a human being. That's such a weird sentence to
for
say.
a period of time.
No, I did not.
You don't remember?
My
John?
sister worked for him, I did not.
Your sister did, but you never worked for him?
My father?
No, did you never work for Brad Post?
So I worked for the company. It was originally called eBridge Technologies. It was owned by Braddock Cunningham. It was a software company. That is where I worked. And then Mr. Cunningham is the one who began purchasing NC&E, Network Controls and Electric. So no, I did not work for Brad Post. I worked for Brad Cunningham, who purchased NC&E from Brad Post.
Okay, so if Brad Post said that you worked for him, that would be incorrect?
Never heard him say I worked for him, so I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, I'm saying if he did, he told this department that you worked for him for a period of time, that would not be true?
No, I worked for eBridge Technologies, which again, I don't want to say subsidiary because I didn't do any of the paperwork, but eBridge Technologies, that software company, kind of merged with Network Controls and Electric once Braddock Cunningham became the person that was buying NC&E.
Okay. Christina was working part-time at as a vet tech, correct?
Correct.
When she died. And Bradley Post was helping her out financially, was he not?
I couldn't give you any type of dollar amounts, but I assume so.
Was he helping with the house at Cambridge?
No.
Okay, but you all had conversations about when you were having trouble getting the house. Did you not have conversations with Christina about getting Brad Post involved to help with that?
No, I unequivocally did not want Brad Post involved.
He has two different law firms. I think it's just single person law firms, but he has two different lawyers, two different law firms that's taking care of it. So it must be paid counsel.
So you never talked to Christina about, you never sent her an email or said, this house is more expensive than I thought, so maybe Brad Post could buy it and then we could rent from him?
No. So I found out October 9th, 2021, that the people I was trying to buy the home for, again, it was in foreclosure. Foreclosures were in forbearance because of COVID, and the dollar amount, the cost to close kept going up, going up, going up. My realtor called me that Saturday and said, it's got to be this much. It was approximately 10 to 15% more than I was approved for. And I told her, I can't do that, but give me a couple days. I'm going to figure something out. And so my sister and I began texting new houses to try and buy a different house, which meant I was looking for a new house at the time my sister was murdered, which means I was not trying to have Brad Post buy cane break so I could rent it from him.
Okay. Now, when John Mello took his daughter and Christina's daughter to Italy, he had the primary custody at the time, didn't he?
That was the agreement, and also he was to allow visitation as per the agreement he reached.
Stop talking. He had primary custody. The judge should have told her just answer the questions.
In family court, yes.
And he was a dual citizen of this
I know
country.
he claims to be a dual
Let me finish the
citizen.
question, sorry. He was a dual citizen of this country and Italy, isn't that true?
I know he claims to be a dual citizen. I cannot ascertain the truth of that statement.
And your niece became an Italian citizen while she was in Italy.
I know he claims she became an Italian citizen. I cannot ascertain the truth of that statement.
Okay, and you talked about having a bodyguard or someone to drive you around while you were in Italy and then back here. Brad Post was paying for that, wasn't he?
I don't know who paid. I didn't see an invoice.
I just can't. Did you take the garbage out? Imagine looking over that morning table and she's looking at you with this face. Yeah, as someone said, I understand why she's divorced. But this lady was the one who had a moral conniption yesterday at Mello's hearing, who claims she didn't know anything. And who still, even though thousands of pictures was found on her sister's and her sister's fiance's devices, still act like her lord doesn't smell, as we say in Danish. She's absolutely garbage. Absolutely garbage. I'm just checking if we are about to go live. Yes. We are about to go live. Cross-examination starts. It's going to end really fast. But let's get to it and do it. Turn on the audio. Turn on the audio. Turn on the audio. Turn it up. Turn it up.
And it states Exhibit 66 up there on the overhead. Mr. Hughes, when you dragged Christina Parcell across the floor of the front room where you killed her, did you drag her by her arm or by her ankle?
I don't remember for certain, but I think by the ankle.
That's all the questions I need to ask, Your Honor. Any limited redirect?
No redirect, Your Honor.
That's the entirety of the cross.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you.
They are now doing the motions to the motions to the motions for direct verdictment. They have made an an arguing for direct verdict on the harassment, and it was denied. So. La da 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 dee, da 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 da. This is the weirdest case in history. Maybe you're right, Stephanie. Sweetler? Yeah. He said all these things yesterday and you didn't come back at it. And by the way, I had a poll up how late it would be today. And we are 41 minutes late. So I will take the 39% who said an hour is right. But that's a good, yeah, because he was talking about all the stuff they weren't talking about, all the stuff that that they wouldn't tell them. And of course, no jury would ever do this. I know that. But imagine if a juror or two went home and Googled it and found out what we know, and then come back and say, was that all you wanted to ask him? I don't know. And surprise in Danish is overraskelse. Not as good a name. It doesn't flow off the tongue as Lord. They didn't want to chance any more variation of what's going on, one and done. Yeah, I said yesterday I don't think they should do one at all, but this is what they got. And now we're sitting here, don't know what's happening because we can't listen to motions. We don't know if they're arguing jury instructions. We don't know if they're back in 2 minutes to do closing arguments. We don't know what's going on because this judge have a weird way of not allowing motions to be heard on camera. Why? I don't know. I really don't know. And I just take the boost off so I don't have this in my ears. Well, I can tell you that we are on break now. Till 1:30 Eastern. So this jury, and it's supposed to be a snowstorm in South Carolina today in the area. He talked about it yesterday. Be mindful of the weather. So closing arguments is supposed to start at 1:30. That means we won't get a live feed till 2 o'clock. Kind of weird. Oh, you have snow in East Tennessee. Well, I like snow. Yeah, they came in, sat down. Did you drag her by the arms or the ankles? I don't remember. Please go out and go on a break for another, what's time? Take another 2-hour break after you have been here for an hour doing nothing. I really hope that if there's any smokers on the jury that they are given a free pack of cigarettes because back when I was a smoker, I would just have been chain smoking in there saying, what the F is going on? What kind of stream is this? Where has the work ethic gone? Never been any work ethic on this channel. How dare you? Where's Jamie? Jamie is right now in Equatorial Guinea because she found out it's the only state in Africa that speaks Spanish. which isn't true. I don't think it's Equatorial Guinea. I'll just make the story up. And Jamie has always wanted to learn Spanish, and she's gonna travel with Irish, and because Jamie, she doesn't know that people from Mexico can speak English, so she wanted to learn English, learn Spanish before she has to travel with Irish. That's why she's gone to Equatorial Guinea to learn Spanish, so she can't be on the show. That's her work ethics. Well, they are not going to talk about it. The defense can't talk about it. I don't know if the defense can even get in trouble for not stopping him or telling him, but they will, of course, claim they didn't know he was going to talk about it, and they told him not to talk about it. We don't know what was said whenever the jury is sent out, so yes, Your Honor, we have instructed him not to say it, but they can't. Oh.
Welcome back. Just be patient and understand there are procedures that have to go in, and I'm sorry that I have to send y'all in and out, okay? All right, anything further?
Nothing further, the defense rests.
Defense rest. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you can go back to the jury room.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They that's why they can't bring it up in closing, but they will then say, well, he surprised us. That's the wrong one. He surprised us as well, Your Honor. We had told him you're not allowed to talk about it. The judge have said this and that, and he did it anyway. So, but yeah, this was stupid. We are now on another 2-hour and 10-minute break, which means I was afraid I couldn't make dinner tonight because it's around 6 o'clock my time. But I'm just going to set up a new trial for 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can join us to hear the closing arguments, hopefully. Because there's no real reason to just sit here and twiddle my thumbs when Jamie doesn't want to hang out with me and talk to me anymore. So, but in the meantime, you can. I uploaded a video because I am a red pill dispensary, not the blue pill dispensary. That's Jamie. But I've been, because these trials have started so late, I've spent way too much time on the stupid twits, and I saw that a lot of people were speculating that that the reason Beverly Cannon blew her mind the other day was because the new filing in the Karen Reed case at the federal court. And in those 700 pages, there was something there, and she got mad about that. No, there's nothing. Jemima has looked at it. I've looked at parts of it. It's 35 pages. The rest is just case law, and it's just a reiteration of the arguments they made in front of the SJC that they believe Karen Reed shouldn't be tried on charge 1 and 3 based on the jury's testimony. And there's nothing new in it, so I don't know why people believe that that's why Beverly Canoni lost her mind. Clearly, it was just because Beverly Canoni is an emotional wreck and believed hanky-panky, even though he then had to withdraw his claims that he got it from the feds, because he clearly stated he got it from the feds, when in reality he got it from the defense. So don't. I think we should be better on the Free Karen Reed side to remind each other don't go chasing waterfalls. Because we have a tendency also, some of us, to jump into rabbit holes and see stuff that isn't there, and then we're spending a whole lot of energy talking about, well, I heard down at the local drive-in that Beverly is mentioned in those 700 pages. No, she's not. So it's a nothing burger. She misunderstood everything because Hank lied. That's the truth of the matter asserted. I see insider implied it's a federal habeas corpus 700-page document that rips Bev and involves the feds. No, it's not. It's a 700-page. If you want to see it, I can show it to you. It's absolutely the most boring piece of paper you'll see in your life. It's grand jury material, or federal material. It's boring as hell. This isn't Fed. Feds don't file these pieces of paper. This is filed by, of course, Karen Reed's team. That's who does stuff like that. I can prove it. Respectfully submitted, Karen Reed, by her attorneys. And the conclusion is, for all foregoing reasons, the defense respectfully requests that this court issue a writ at habeas corpus and hold that Miss Reed's retrial on counts 1 and 3 would violate her double jeopardy rights. There's nothing in it. A lot of empty pages on this one. I don't know why. But all of it is just, it's things we have heard before. They're asking for the rder. It's the same arguments they made in front of the SJC. There's nothing in it. It's a big old nothing burger that people got up in arms over because Bev had a stupid reaction, and she shouldn't have. She's a judge. She has seen worse than this. But she hates the defense team, and that's why she finally thought she had something to hit them with. Yes, court have started yet. Cross was, when you moved the body, do you remember if you did it by the arms or the legs? The angles, I'm not sure. See you back at 1:30. So we will start streaming again at 2 because there's the half-hour delay. This is the worst case in history. I'm pretty sure Lally and Brennan don't talk to each other. I am pretty sure with the filing of stupid arguments like this. And I know Brennan haven't watched a second of the first trial and haven't watched any of the transcript, even though he again stated to Beverly that he read all the transcripts, and then he later stated he didn't read them. Sanctions should be brought against him. It won't, but should be brought against him because he wasted court's time by lying. Well, not lying, because a lawyer would never ever lie, but he misrepresented facts. I meant Aussie Insider did a 9-minute video that went through talking points, and it was very interesting. Not speculation. Geez, what the heck is wrong with my talk to text today? Which talking points? The talking points about the feds are the ones behind this. I've said it before and I say it again. The feds are not going to save Karen Reed. God Almighty won't come down and say, well, normally Sunday is my day off, but I'm going to change this. Karen Reed need to keep her nose in the grindstone. I don't know. That's not how you say it. Nose on the track. She needs to only do one thing. Focus on her defense. All these people who will tell you what happens and what really happens and what they heard. Because I also heard, well, some people went from one courthouse to another, so now charges was coming against Beverly Cannoni. This is like when Sean of the Golf told you whatever he tried to sell people. It's a really good grift. People will come look at your channel. I'm the red pill dispensary, so I don't get all the likes and the clicks. But way too many people read way too much into stuff that isn't real because they want it to be real, and I understand why they want it to be real. And I too would hope that we didn't have to go to these horrendous court proceedings again. They have filed today. The state believes it'll take them 20 full days of trial to present their evidence, but it won't happen. No magic exists in the courtroom. This isn't Matlock. Always believe that you have to fight, fight, fight. Nothing magical happened, and the feds didn't write any of that. It's just a reiteration of the same arguments they presented to the SJC. I just think a lot of people don't watch a lot of trials and don't understand what's happening. That's why I'm lucky. I have a few lawyers who backs me up and can help me interpret things. Thank you, Jemima. Baker's new t-shirt, not all hero wear crepes. We don't call them crepes, we call them flat cakes. No, pancakes. Sorry. But no, my next t-shirt will be, well, it won't because I haven't talked to the person I wanted to force to make my t-shirt, but it would be True Crime Box Wine Tour of 2025 t-shirts. So I had something to give away in Knoxville. I wouldn't have asked any questions, but it was a waste of time. Hey, Gattaca, you always come in right as I'm about to leave. Oh, by the way, something you should look up on the break. Back in December, I believe, three governors, I don't know if you can have that, in Massachusetts, or three senators contacted the governor, I might get this messed up, in the Garcia case and asked what the heck is going on. And they just reached out again because they still haven't heard anything. We still don't know what happened to this guy who was unalived at a police academy. We have nothing. We don't even know the autopsy report. But there's a new pressure on it. Try Googling it, I believe. Was it Wilmington something that had an article about it? Very interesting. Thank you, Zach. You are very kind. Also, Brennan has caused another trip across country for Action Jacks and it all. Yeah, but he can't do. They can't get that reimbursed in any way. That's the thing about it. Again, in Denmark, did this happen and you incur extra expenses for your lawyer? We in the court can demand that the state pays for you because you made them. Let's say you ask for another day in court because you wanted to call another witness, and then that witness doesn't show up. Then we'll say, well, the defendant shouldn't pay for that day in court because the state gave them an undue expense. So then the state will have to pay for that lawyer that day. So we do that a lot when cases are getting old. We just had a case the other day that was like 2.5 years old, and it wasn't the guy. Only one of the defendants. There was two defendants. Only the one of them had showed up in court, and the guy who showed up in court, he had a bit of drugs and stuff like that. Nothing major. Got a little bit of it was just a monetary fine. But because it was a 2.5-year-old case, we said, well, the state have to pay for your lawyer. And because it's just a monetary fine, he ended up being found guilty of. Why drag him to court? Because normally people, if they get a fine like a speeding ticket or something, you'll just pay it. You don't go to court with it. So we also ordered the state to, so his fine went away and the state had to pay his lawyer. We do that a lot in those smaller cases. Hey, Farley. Oh, I can buy cheap viewers on Steamboo. Go drop in an ocean and take a deep breath underneath the sea. Well, everyone, I think I boiled enough soup on that rock, as we say in Denmark. Let's meet up again around 2 p.m. See if we ever get on with this case. And go watch my video where I say eat all the red pills because blue pills are for fun time. Thank you, Jam Cracker, for being a member for 11 months. Hey, yo, update, please. Cross-examination. Did you drag her by the arms or the legs? I can't remember. I think ankles. Defense rest. We are back at 2 p.m., hopefully with closing arguments. So, yeah. They have wasted an insane amount of parents and taxpayer money. The CV weaponized of the court system is demented. Yes, and sadly, nothing will change because we see it in so many cases. The state have all the money and they don't care that you have none. And that's why I think it's an unfair system you have in the Americas, that you have that plea deal system that, well, everyone takes a plea deal if they don't have money. Karen Reed was supposed to take a plea deal, and she said she's now $5 million in the hole just to fight for her freedom, and they just keep taxing on expenses because the state will never have to pay a dime. That's why I say our system, where if you are found innocent, the state have to pay everything. They have to pay for your lawyer. And in Denmark, we don't have public lawyers like you have, where it's just someone sitting in an office with 40,000 million cases and who is very, very thin stretched. You can ask for any defense lawyer in the country and say, I want this guy. And if he doesn't have any cases, he'll say yes. And he will have a flat fee. It's not like, okay, Alan Jackson and Elaine Betterhoff would cost the exact same amount in Denmark. It's a flat fee they'll get. So you of course can then do your own, but they are only guaranteed a flat fee payment that's X an hour. So even though you're destitute, you still can have a proper representation. Better is good too. Yeah, the worst part of him potentially joining the team is we can't talk to him. But he said silence doesn't equal something today on Twitter. Go look it up. Come on, it's not. It's like 400,000. Yeah, I think all the not the Sweden is the redheaded stepchild of Scandinavia, but the rest of us are good people. Love y'all. Can they refuse cases? Only if they ethically is. Of course, they can say, I have so many cases on my docket, but right now, the one I'm having, he has one lawyer. He's very famous in Denmark. He takes a lot of high-profile cases. So, but his office will just handle it. So someone who works for him in his law office takes it. So it's he's still the principal on the case, but he can then give it to one of his partners. But you can see who knows the right names to say, because some of the lawyers we see is the ones who go on TV and do the big drug cases, big murder cases, and stuff like that. And normally, if you call on them, it's because you know who to call, and it's not Ghostbusters. Oh, we are the population in the world who has the highest level of happy pills, antidepressants. We are the people in the world who use most of that, because we live in a place where it's dark all the time. So we are super depressed all the time, but we still believe we're happy because we're weird. What's not weird is coming back in 2 hours and hopefully watch some closing statements. Go have some fun. Get ready for... I don't foresee it being the longest closing arguments in the world, but we'll have fun while it lasts. See you later.
What exhibit are you referring to?
I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor.
All right.
100. Because it is 100% correct.
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All right, I'm in love.
Go back. Please do that again. Oh, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't have cared.
You wouldn't have cared?
No.
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
No.
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
Probably did. Everybody has.
So there-
Everybody has.